So last week we started the Pelham Line, and if you haven't seen that episode yet, you should go check it out and then come back here. I can wait. All right, anyway, so we've done the lower half of the Pelham Line. Today we're gonna go back and do the upper half of it. If you're just finding this channel, I pick out places in New York City to go explore, and I take you with me. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. For now, we're heading back to the Bronx. Go finish up the Pelham Line. Let's go. We're back on the Pelham Line. Today we're going to do the upper half of it, starting out here at Morrison Avenue. So once again, the Pelham Line is part of the A division, served by the 6 at all times. This line was built as part of the dual contracts between the BMT, the IRT, and the cities between 1918 and 1920. The line is both underground and elevated. We did the underground parts of it in the last episode. The rest of them today are above ground. So the IRT Lexington Avenue line opened in July of 1918. And then in August of 1918, this first section of the Pelham Line, which was a branch off of the Lexington line, opened up to 3rd Avenue and 138th Street. In January of 1919, the line was extended to Hunts Point Avenue. And then in May of 1920, it was extended up to East 177th Street. October of 1920, it was extended up to Westchester Square. And then in December of 1920, it was extended up to where it ends today, still Pelham Park. So this station is Morrison Avenue. It opened in May of 1920. Elevated station has 2 side platforms and 3 tracks. The Diamond 6 runs express on weekdays. This station is St. Lawrence Avenue. It opened in May of 1920, and that extension from Hunts Point up to East 177th Street. Elevated station, 2 side platforms, 3 tracks. It looks similar to the other elevated stations on the line. This station is Parkchester, originally East 177th Street. This was the end of that extension that opened in May of 1920. By passenger count, this is the 3rd busiest station in the Bronx and the busiest station on the Pelham Line. This is an express station, 2 island platforms, 3 tracks. The station's only exit is through mezzanine below. This is Castle Hill Avenue. This opened with that next extension of the line in October of 1920. Elevated station, 2 side platforms, 3 tracks. There's a station house underneath. This is Zerega Avenue. This also opened in October 1920 with that extension to Westchester Square. Local station, elevated, 2 side platforms, 3 tracks. Kind of resembles the other ones on the line. This is Westchester Square, East Tremont Avenue, formerly just Westchester Square Station. This opened in October 1920. It's the new terminal of the line with the extension from East 177th Street. Local station elevated, 2 side platforms, 3 tracks. Train being held at the station. Right over there is St. Peter's Church. That was built in 1853. That's old. kind of a lot of work to get over here, but that is a beautiful church. And very old, founded 1693, although that one was built in the mid-1800s. Just missed one. 9 more minutes now. Now we're at Middletown Rd. This opened December of 1920 as part of that final extension all the way to Pelham Park. Nice view of Midtown straight down the tracks that way. Elevated station, 2 side platforms, 3 tracks. Also just south of the station, the tracks lead to Westchester Yard, which is the main yard for the 6 line. I said Middleton, it might be Middletown. I'm not actually sure. Looks like there are elevators going in over there. This station is Buhre Avenue. It opened December 1920 in that last extension toward Pelham Park. Local elevated station, 2 side platforms, 3 tracks. Mezzanine underneath. All right, this is the terminal. We're here at Pelham Bay Park. This was completed December 20th, 1920, with that final extension of the Pelham Line up to here. Terminal station, island platform in the middle, 2 tracks. There are 2 side platforms that aren't used anymore. Originally, they had that Spanish solution style where the trains would offload onto the side platforms and take passengers on from the middle platform, but they stopped doing that. Tracks end at that end in bumper blocks. Fare control is a mezzanine down at that end. So in the novel, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, and the movies that came after it, the train that was hijacked was one that left at 123. Which is why it had that call sign. After that film's release in 1974, the MTA banned any trains departing at 1:23 a.m. or 1:23 p.m., realizing that it would become too much of a reminder to the public. Eventually that policy was rescinded, but because of superstitions, dispatchers still tend to avoid scheduling Manhattan-bound trains at that time. So this is Pelham Bay Park over here. It's a nice park. We've been here. You should check out that episode if you haven't seen it. There's a bridge that you can cross to get right over to it. Let's head back. I'm back up to the east side after finishing up the upper portion of the Pelham Line. Some more nice elevated dual contracts platforms. If you're just finding this channel, be sure to check out all the rest of the episodes already available up to the east side on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Tell all your friends about it. And look for new episodes every Friday. Thanks for coming with me to explore New York City. I'll see you next time.